How can you find stability in your life? We all have those moments where we need to catch a breath. Life feels too chaotic. We need things to slow down. We need things to stabilize. And what's interesting about that is that we can think about, well, what do we want? What do we need in order for things to be like they are feeling calm and good, like they feel stable? Now, we're going to have a wish list of everything that has to happen. But what about when we don't get that wish list fulfilled? What about how do we find stability when it feels chaotic all around us? Now, to answer this, it's really kind of one of those things. There are multiple aspects to how we can understand, how we can kind of get at it. But in one way, we can find a piece of wisdom in the book of James. And it says in chapter 1, verses 5 through 6, but anyone who needs wisdom should ask God, whose very nature is to give everyone without a second thought, without keeping score. Wisdom will certainly be given to those who ask. Whoever asks shouldn't hesitate. They should ask in faith without doubting. Whoever doubts is like the surf of the sea, tossed and turned by the wind. How do we bring more stability? By searching for wisdom, by asking for wisdom. And wisdom is this whole thing about it's knowledge, but how we use it to be helpful. Wisdom gives us a course, like kind of directs us, and that we're supposed to be kind of exploring, kind of looking for, going, all right, how can I get through this? Because a lot of times we can't stop the chaos that's around us. We have no control over that. All we can do is how we navigate kind of through it. And the photographer Ansel Adams says, in wisdom gathered over time, I have found that every experience is a form of exploration. And so to think about it in terms of how are we exploring? How are we asking questions? Not just, I wish things would get better, but instead, well, what can I do? What can I say? How can I react? What is the process? Is there some words of wisdom I can find? We need to be exploring the topic if we want stability. And then the second part of that passage, maybe that made us go, wait, what did it say? They should ask in faith without doubting. Whoever doubts is like the surf of the sea, tossed and turned by the wind. What's interesting about that is this could feel like it's being stated in the negative. And that sometimes people think that doubt is bad for faith. Well, it depends on what we mean by that. Because there is a healthy way to think about doubt. In fact, a really helpful way that doubt makes us question. It makes us go, wait a minute, I need to learn more about. Doubt can help us explore. It actually can help us be curious about things. And that curiosity is really important if we're looking for wisdom. Now, when does doubt become unhealthy? When does it become problematic where it's tossing us around like the sea? Well, that kind of doubt that we're talking about is one where we just kind of cross our arms and like, well, nothing will ever change. Why should I even try? Or we go, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to know anymore. So when that doubt actually has us silencing the questions, when our doubt silences the exploration, when it silences our searching and our curiosity, that is when doubt becomes unhelpful, because it's kind of like we're just at the mercy of the forces outside of ourselves that we have no control over. And so Albert Einstein, the physicist, he has this saying, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Never lose a holy curiosity. And so the writer of James is trying to get us to have a holy curiosity about wisdom, about asking those questions when we don't feel like things are stable, when we don't like what's going on, when we don't like what is happening. We need to get curious. We need to get curious about why we are having that reaction, do some self-reflection. We need to get curious about what's really happening. There's the whole surface level, but there's so much more deep down. And so this is really, James is trying to get us to explore and to search for wisdom. For those that we listen to, for things that we read, for things that we search out to help us navigate those times that feel so chaotic. Because again, we can't control what the situations around us, so much of it. All we can control is how we navigate through. And when we feel like we can navigate, we begin to find more stability. Have a good one.